Two things in the gaming news world I want to talk about this week. The first, of course, is the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer 2. Yes, another guy reacting to the Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer. But I was traveling, and as you can tell, I'm here in this like weird, another hotel room that kind of looks like a concrete prison. But I sat on it for a little bit, and I have some observations I wanted to chat about with you guys. I didn't want to react right off the jump, but obviously this trailer is a big deal, right? It's been quite some time since the last trailer. It's the first trailer since we know that the game is actually releasing apparently May 26th, 2026. So we still got some time. So now we have this trailer, a lengthy trailer, as well as not only the trailer, but Rockstar just giving a ton of details on a slick website with new screenshots, character bios, information on all the locations and stuff like that. Check that out. I'm not going to break all that down here. The biggest thing, the biggest takeaway for me for the trailer was two things: visual fidelity, like graphical, like whoa, holy shitness, and story. So the first thing with the with the visuals, like, is it really gonna look like that? I can't find myself being the only person asking that question, right? Because of course, frustratingly enough, this isn't just a gameplay trailer. It's stuff running in the game's engine. They've said it's running on a PS5, a base PS5, which is incredible. But these are generally like mostly in-game cutscenes and stuff like that. It can be argued that there's snippets of real gameplay here and there, which is cool. But for the most part, this isn't just like raw gameplay. And that's something that I just really want to see. I'm curious, mostly because I want to know what the next generation of Grand Theft Auto is. How are they pushing things forward? Is it storytelling, or is it gameplay, or is it both? But I'll talk about that more in a little bit. Visually, the game does look incredible. Obviously, the character detail, the faces, the amount of ass in this trailer, and the fact that there's like ass physics and stuff like that, I appreciate that very much, but I think it's the biome variety and the detail of the environments that really make this stuff. Like from the bright, crisp blues of the Florida Keys to more of the factory towns to the Florida Everglades. I'm using the real world terms. I forget the Grand Theft Auto terms. I'm not there yet with that. Give me time. But I think it's also, I think, incredible here. And what makes this feel different than the previous ones is that obviously it feels fresh because it's modern times, but it's modern times not in flashy, glamorous California or grimy New York City, right? Like this is a little bit more. Florida is like a fantastical place in a lot of ways, right? But it's also in a lot of ways it's just a little bit more real. And I think the most noticeable thing is like right from the start of the trailer where we are introduced to Jason, who is like jacked apparently, like Batman, Bruce Wayne jacked. And you see a shot of like where he's living, and it's like a driveway. There's a boat parked there. There's garbage cans. There's like a muddy driveway. Like it all just feels very mundane and realistic. The vehicle kind of just looks like a regular old Ford Raptor. Like it just, to me visually, I'm like, wow, that looks like a real ass place. And I think that's impressive that they've managed to have that sense of scale, because it's not always just graphical prowess, right? It can be art direction and proper use of lighting and just an eye for the sense of scale and things like that. And I think that's what they really have going on here. And I think this is where it like that mundane aspect does help flesh out like why this does feel different, because the trailer to me just feels very modern and fresh. And it's hard to pinpoint why exactly. It's not just a bunch of people on their cell phones looking at TikTok or anything like that. Like it doesn't feel jaded. It just like the dress, the style of music, even though it's a throwback, like the one song especially was like the Pointer Sisters. That was a jam. But like, I don't know, it just feels very of its time, of now. And I think in a way that's not like hammy or overdone or awkward. And I think Rockstar deserves a lot of credit for that, for capturing time periods and for making it not feel, for poking fun at things, but making it not feel like a hyper exaggeration, right? Like they walk that really good line, at least if we're talking like 4, 5, and 6, sorta. This definitely looks like the most realistic one by far. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, this looks way more of like a realism thing. But I don't know, we see other video games try and like ape the real world, the 2025, the 2026, right? And sometimes it doesn't always look or feel right. But in this trailer, like it all just kind of felt very natural. And I think a lot of that comes down to the characters and the performances and stuff like that. So Stephen Root, of course, was noted as the guy, Brian Heder, right away. Great character actor. But I'm curious to see who else pops up. There's a lot of speculation out there about a lot of the other characters, who's playing who. People are trying to dissect the voices. People are just looking at what characters look like and calling who's playing them. But I think that there's still a lot to be revealed with all that. But I'm just curious, because if Stephen Root is in it, right, he's a celebrity voice actor. I wonder if we're going to have more like over the top or weird celebrities pop up. But again, the music. I want to know what the music is. And again, the songs we did get. Really, I know the trailer had some stuff, but the biggest thing was the Pointer Sisters Hot Together song. Really, really good choice. Because again, it's like an older song. It's giving off big 80s, like Miami Vice vibes, like the thumping beat and stuff like that. But with it being set in the modern day, but in Vice City, I don't know, it's just like a good contrast. So again, with all this stuff, I find myself being like, holy shit, is this game really going to look like this? Where I think Rockstar, of all people, actually deserves the benefit of the doubt is how kind of straightforward they are with this stuff. Obviously, they've had some hiccups in the past, we've discussed, but with their main games, like like Red Dead Redemption 2, everything they showed, every trailer, everything, like the game ended up looking like that. Remember seeing like that first trailer? I'll put her in black on your behalf. What a fucking hard line, man. Where was I? Yeah, the Red Dead Redemption 2 trailers, right? Like, they looked incredible, and then the game looked like that to back it up. So I'm actually going in a little bit more positive and probably not as skeptical as some of you might be hoping I am with this. But it all comes back around to this, man. I'm excited to be excited about a game. Is Grand Theft Auto 6 going to be like the most mainstream thing? Yes. Is this type of game not for every gamer? You know, I get it, right? But like, it's just a big, fun, open world to cause chaos in, and that's what I like about these games. That's what I've liked about them since Grand Theft Auto 3, so I'm really hoping this can be something. From the visual standpoint, yes, but moving on over to the gameplay side, we don't know too much of what we're doing, other than that we are possibly playing as two protagonists, right? So I want to know is how they're evolving things, how this isn't going to feel just like another GTA, like on foot, running around, driving. Where I do think it's going to feel different, and what I'm really excited about, is story-wise. Yes, I am coming to, in the year of our Lord 2026, I am coming to Grand Theft Auto 6 for the story. I like how Rockstar tells stories. I get it, like, people have changed behind the scenes, the Housers and stuff like that, but after Red Dead Redemption 2 and how that billion-dollar video game tried to tell a story with some nuance and some things you don't see told in a lot of stories, I think I'm just like hooked, and I've been dying to see what's next and how they can do that again. And I think there's a lot of potential here with the two main characters being in love, the Bonnie and Clyde thing. The fact that the trailer is also so sexually charged, I actually found very interesting. The trailer is like kind of hot. Like I said, a lot of ass, a lot of kissing, a lot of sex, a lot of stuff like that. And I'm pointing it out specifically because I feel like video games don't always handle sex that great. A lot of games acknowledge sex, but in more of a mechanical way or a weird way where it's cutesy, it's tongue-in-cheek, or it's overly perverted and fake, or it's like an RPG dialogue option where, like, yes, you can generate the relationship, but when it actually comes down to the thing and the sexual chemistry and the physicality, it loses it. So if this game can kind of continue that through line of like the fact that people fuck, right? But have it really work with the sense of characters and the story and not just feel like glorification or filler or fluff or titillation, so to speak, I think there's potential there, like from an actual storytelling standpoint. And aside from the sexual fact, but just the fact that it's two characters in love, I think that's cool. I think a video game story about a man and a woman in love doing crime is just interesting. It's really cool, and I think there is a shit ton of potential there. So I'm glad that they're probably going to try things. They're going to push things forward with that, but I really want to see how it's going to come to the gameplay department. Is it going to be like Red Dead Redemption 2? I saw a meme going around of like people being like, oh, now in GTA 6, you're going to have to like move the analog stick to equip your car keys and then turn on the car, and then when you stop at a place, you're going to have to walk to the trunk, open the trunk with a trunk animation, take out the gun, right? So like, I'm curious to see how immersive they're gonna go with this one. Like, is it gonna be clunky or is it gonna be faster, zippy, or accessible? There's still so many questions to be had. And I really hope Rockstar gives us those gameplay trailers at a point like that they did back with like Red Dead Redemption 1 and like Max Payne 3, where it would just be a voiceover like, in Red Dead Redemption, you get to go and do this. And it like will highlight a specific feature of the gameplay. I hope they do something like that. I feel like at this point, they probably feel like they don't have to do anything, but I don't know. I would like to see that. But again, I can't help but be optimistic, excited for this. I think this is cool. I hope we start hearing a little bit more information like trickling over the course of the next year. I think there's a lot of potential too for this one to just feel like a good return to form. I say that as somebody that just didn't love GTA 5's campaign, right? So I think like in terms of like back to Vice City, We've seen a lot of references in the trailer, like references to old radio stations. Some characters even just dressed a little bit like characters from Vice City. Like, not like just overly nostalgia referencing, like not like Tommy Vercetti's gonna show up or anything, but just a good sense of like that again, that Vice City thing. That's what I want. Is this game going to be like fucking $100? I don't know. I hope not. But for now, I think that's where I rest my case. We talked about this a lot on the Friends Per Second podcast as well, dropping in a couple of days. So if you want to check that out as well, yeah. But this is two things. If you're new here, every Wednesday, I talk about two news topics I find really interesting. Two things I want to deep dive into. If you watch me on Game Ranks on the Friday news show, I break down all the news. But here, I like to just highlight two things. The other thing I did want to talk about this week is just briefly the fact that Gears of War is coming to PlayStation 5. Yes, that's like, what is it called? It's got like a fucking dumb, boring remaster word name. Generic Gears of War Reloaded remaster. So this is coming to the consoles in August. Xbox, of course, but also PC and PS5. And for me, that was just like a whoa, like a wake-up call, right? Because you see, you know, Xbox's game plan changing, right? They've talked it and now they're executing it, right? We have like a Forza most recently on PlayStation, and that's all been well and good. But seeing Gears with the PS5 box art was the first time where I was like, whoa, this is really happening and they're really following through with that. And I just think that's very interesting to see. I'm curious to see a bunch of new people get exposed to Gears of War. The original Gears of War is incredible. From what it looks like, this remaster is going to have all the bells and whistles, like 60 FPS, 120 FPS, 4K, shit like that. Like, it's from the ground up for these new bits of hardware. But visually and like that overhaul, it looks like it is very much carrying over the style or the remake or remaster style. Little color palette swaps, graphical details of stuff like the Ultimate Edition, which is fine. But I honestly, it's like incomplete to me. I know I'm sounding greedy, but like in the world of like we're just getting endless remasters and shit, I would have loved to have had Gears of War 1, 2, and 3 as the Holy Trinity, and that's it. Because Gears of War 1 is great. Gears of War 2, if I remember correctly, was even better. Gears of War 3, not my favorite, but it rounded out the trilogy really well. So I'm hoping that now PlayStation fans are getting exposed to Gears of War, they can get the whole trilogy, the whole meal, so to speak. But again, it's just seeing it in action here, like seeing the announcement and seeing Xbox on PlayStation makes me really see that Xbox is doing what they're saying here. And they are moving into more of a game publisher thing. And I just find it interesting. It's a whole other conversation, all the console war shit. We've talked about it a lot, right? But like, I'm just waiting, like, because if it's Gears of War, right, then Halo is next. I feel like it has to be. Like, right? Am I crazy? Either way, I just wanted to like get my reaction out there. Like, I can't be the only person that saw that news and was like, whoa, right? Or if people just become jaded to this stuff. I don't know. I've been doing this for so long and I've been playing for so long that like I just didn't expect that to ever happen. It's just certain things that you just think like, that's never going to happen. We're never going to see that. So yeah. But those are the two news things I wanted to talk about this week. I would love to know your thoughts on Gears of War on PS5. The multiplayer should be fun, for sure. I played that a lot back in the day. But let's talk about that. And of course, your observations of Grand Theft Auto 6. Is it not for you? I get it. When I posted about it on social media, I had a lot of people commenting and being like, this looks like it sucks, or this is not for me. Fair enough. But if you're interested, let's talk about it, genuinely. Let me know what you're thinking. If you like this video and you like what I'm trying to do here, I'm just talking about stuff I like, stuff I find interesting. Clicking the like button helps me. Thank you. But that's really it. Find me on the socials at Jake Baldino. I am here. I'm actually playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4. So I'll have a preview or some sort of impressions up soon, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But that's it. So yeah, I'm Jake Baldino. See you guys next time. Subscribe because video games and pizza's on me.